Hello guys, welcome to another drop analysis of Ace, and now we're into game 2 of LGD versus Infamous. Okay, before I move into this draft, in game 1, as I mentioned, the Terrorblade was a very strong pick against the Lifestealer and as well the Winter Wyvern. He created a lot of space with Core Embrace as well as his Winter Blast created a lot of counter push, and then his Arctic Burn did a lot of damage in team fights. He was just a super strong last pick by LGD. His Core Embrace kited the Lifestealer, his Winter's Curse was super strong in the team fights. It was just a very good last pick really. And yeah, Infamous had a very good start. They were playing very aggressive, but they just didn't have the means to end the game. LGD played very well around the Terrorblade. They didn't force him in the fights at all. Like in the first 20-30 minutes, he wasn't in any of the fights. He was just farming and split pushing. I think the game plan for LGD was just don't fight until Infamous comes to the high ground. The rest of the heroes were just creating space, although they were dying a lot. But Terrorblade was still farming and he was still up there in net worth, and that was all that matters in the late game. That one high ground defense that LGD had was all that they needed to come back into the game. Their lineup was just stronger. They had a kiting potential on heroes like Razor as well as Lifestealer, and the carry counter was just way too strong on the Terrorblade versus Lifestealer matchup. And Yao on the next assassin, he played extremely well. He was all the lockdown for LGD. His spike carapace were on point, his impales were on point, and yeah, that was all that was needed for LGD to take game 1 against Infamous. And now in game 2, Infamous having first pick. The bans are the same for Infamous. LGD they switch things up, they ban the Clockwork instead this time. And with the first pick, Infamous goes for Jakiro. I mentioned earlier that they really like this hero, so it seems like this is one of the more stable position 5 right now, as LGD also favored it in game 1. And yeah, let's see what Infamous can do with this first pick Jakiro. On the other hand, LG respond with Earthshaker and Ancient Apparition. They really like to play this AA on Yao, but as we see last game, QQQ is actually the position 5 hero and Yao is playing the position 4 replacing Victoria. So if I'm not wrong, he's going to be the one playing the Ancient Apparition as well, and Yao is going to be the one playing the Shaker. Assuming this is the position 4 Shaker, it could still always be a FY Shaker. And yeah, I mentioned the first game analysis as well that both teams really prioritized the Bat Rider, the Earthshaker as well as the Puck. So in game 1 we saw Bat Rider ban and Puck picked up. Now we see Bat Rider ban and Earthshaker picked up. Will we get to see Puck in the second phase or will we get banned? It's still pretty strong for Infamous side, sorry, for LGD side I would say. Actually both sides can still use it, especially off lane, because like Ancient Apparition isn't the best hero against a Puck. He can always just opt out of the cold fit, unless with a very timely stun from Earthshaker. That's the only way that he can get the cold fit to proc. LGD they ban away Nature's Prophet, being afraid of like a split pushing strategy with the Jakiro on top. And I forgot to mention that Infamous did pick up the Sand King as their position 4 hero. Usually most teams will pick up Nyx as their position 4 here because they just feel that Nyx is a better hero. But Infamous is a team that doesn't really prioritize Nyx. I think they don't feel comfortable with this hero. They don't really ban it and they don't pick it up for themselves as well. So Sand King is a good alternative here. It does the same and it's probably a hero that their position 4 is more comfortable playing than the Nyx assassin.
5 seconds remaining.
LGD banned away the Mirana for Maybe. Maybe is a very Mirana is one of Maybe's comfort hero. We always see a lot of it, and it's just a targeted hero ban from Infamous towards Maybe's classic hero. And will we see the Necrophos ban? Yeah, Infamous goes ahead and ban the Necrophos, and LGD bans the Venomancer. This was the similar ban in game 1, but they did it on the 3rd ban instead of the 4th ban. LGD, will we see another Winter Wyvern for FY? I don't think so, because I think the last game was a very good with the rival
5
game, and
seconds
so they felt
remaining.
FI could play it then. But this game, not yet at least. They could possibly go for a Puck here. The three heroes for FI that they like to pick for him is like Puck, Nature's Prophet, or Magnus. Sometimes even Earthshaker or Sand King, but the Earthshaker could still be FIs, but I would say a hero like Magnus would be a possibility if they want to go
Dire team pick.
for Magnus plus like a melee carry lineup. I think this FV is going to be Ame's hero, and it's a very strong combination with the Asian Apparition. One of the most common duos, I would say. Support plus carry common duos.
10 seconds remaining.
I haven't seen FI play the Faceless Void yet, so I doubt this
5
is an
seconds remaining.
off-lane Faceless Void. A potential would be Magnus on FI now, as I mentioned. Pairing up with the Faceless Void Empower, it'll be very strong. The only thing I fear for is it'll be relying too much on big AoE team fights, and if Infamous can play around it, then it might be the downfall of LGD. Yeah, LGD is like every other Chinese team. They like to play around a lot of team fights, and that's when they excel at having good team fight. Even if like last game they were down, but they just fought better with the 4-staff kiting and better usage of spells, better lockdown and execution and everything. So they're just able to take the fights better. And LGD believes that they're gonna they can rely on this team fight potential of them to win against Infamous. Going for the AA Faceless Void on top of the Earthshaker, their lineup is currently full of team fighting, and Infamous have to have an answer for it. It's either they're going to match up to the team fight powers of LGD, or they're going to have a lot of split pushing potential to split up LGD. And Puck is a good way to start it. It helps to split push, and it's also very good at going on the back lines, preventing Earthshaker, Echo Slams, preventing A from getting off his Ice Blast, and such. So yeah, Puck is a very disruptive hero,
remaining.
and it's something Infamous is very comfortable on.
5 seconds remaining.
The only thing I fear now is they don't have the damage to burst out of Faceless Void. Their lineup currently lacks a burst, so their cores might be focused towards one of them, like a core that can do burst damage. In the late game, Puck can go for Vagon 5 on top of his arsenal of spells. It might be a way to burst down the Faceless Void, but until then, it's going to be pretty hard to kill this Void unless they have more damage. Jakiro isn't exactly the kind of hero where you look to burst people down. His damage is more of damage over time. Sand King as well, he needs time to channel his epicenter. If he can hide in the trees, blink and channel epi and blink stun, then yeah, maybe the burst will be enough to kill a Faceless Void. But he's definitely gonna need help, follow up from like a Puck and something. Oh wow, and LGD goes for a Shadow Fiend. It's a hero that we almost never see now. It's a very strong... It provides a lot of damage around a Chronosphere, and it's a hero that can help to farm very quickly. Faceless Void is a hero that doesn't farm very fast, unless he goes for Battle Fury, but you almost don't see that. So they need somebody to be able to have a very fast farming speed to clear the jungles, and Shadow Fiend is just that hero. He can farm very quickly. He will be taking a lot of farm while Faceless Void creates space with teamfight, finding kills with Chronosphere. And should the late game teamfights break out, they always have Requiem on top of Chronosphere, which is really powerful. Infamous goes for the offlane Beastmaster, meaning this is going to be a mid Puck. And I think this Beastmaster is more of an answer to a long duration of lockdown, so that they can burst a hero like Faceless Void before he gets his time walk away. Currently, both teams have a lot of lockdown. Faceless, LGD has the Chrono as well as Earthshaker's whole chain, and Infamous have Puck, Sand King, and Beastmaster Raw as well. Not forgetting Ice Path. LGD, they ban away Troll, which is a very strong hero at chain bashing Faceless Void on top of, let's say when you Raw and then the Troll Guts on top of the Faceless Void. it's very likely that by the time Raw ends, he's going to have a attack speed is going to be so fast that he's going to be chain bashing Faceless Void and making FV unable to get off his time walk. And in a man fight, Troll is definitely able to win Faceless Void as well. Infamous bans the Pakna, last targeting towards FY. Pakna is an offlane that is very strong when paired up on a chrono as well. He can life drain from outside his Nether Blast as well as
10 seconds remaining.
The Nether Ward is actually very strong against heroes like Pak and Sand King. Like Sand King wants to hide in a tree's channel his epicenter, and if the ward is placed at the right spot, he can actually break the blink of Sand King, and that'll be very bad for Infamous initiation. Similarly against a Pak, if he jumps in and then he keeps getting zapped when he casts his spell, Pak doesn't have a very high HP pool, and those damage are actually going to add up and do a lot of damage to him. Infamous goes for the Seven. It's a hero that I mentioned, a burst kind of carry, which is good against Faceless Void. And wow, we actually see a offlane Faceless Void on FI, something that we actually never see before, and they go for Army on Arc Warden. A way to deal with Arc Warden is actually to shut him down in the lane, and currently Infamous doesn't really have the tools to do with it. They can put maybe the Sand King with the Beastmaster offlane, but Arc Warden slow on top of AA Cold Fate is actually a very strong way to initiate on a target. I think a lot of this game is, if LGD gets a decent laning phase, they're just going to take this game. Infamous relies a lot on the Seven to get out their damage, but the Seven is up against a Chronosphere. He's up against a Arc Warden, which is very strong at kiting as well. He's up against an Earthshaker, which can just throw a fissure to block him off. In a way, he's up against 3 cores, the Faceless Void, SF, as well as Arc Warden, and he alone is not going to be able to dish out enough damage. I think this draft by 357 is really very strong on the LGD side, and they also kind of pocket strat in terms of the Arc Warden. I don't think we ever see Ame play this Arc Warden, and it's probably a good time to pull it out. I don't think Infamous was expecting it, and it just feels like Infamous lineup lacks damage unless they can snowball the laning phase, which isn't even going to be easy. I think their focus is going to be on the mid lane on the Shadow Fiend. They need to shut him down. I don't think they can shut Faceless Void or Arc Warden down this game. Okay, so my prediction is going to be on LGD, and yeah, let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe or like the video. Thank you.